Hello everyone, we're on lesson number 7 on Sefirot, Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, and last time we finished talking about the 4 phases of direct light, meaning the initial process in which creation is being created and how the creature is being, you can say, stabilized or shaped by 2 main forces, which is the force of reception and the force of bestow, meaning from outside inwards and from inside outwards, like a plus and a minus. And how by the 4 phases, meaning 4 steps in a process, the creature starts from a state in which it is a primitive matter that can only receive the upper light, and then later on wants to bestow like the upper light, into a state in which the creature actually longs to understand or to cleave to the essence of the Creator, to the thought of creation, to the wisdom that operates the process. So it's very like, we've talked about it, that just like the Creator created from the will to bestow the will to receive, that's how the creature later on will come from the will to receive, come from the will to receive to the will to bestow. Okay, now I think we have a problem on Facebook. I see that people are writing that we have a problem. Okay, that's not good. Let me just, I don't know why. Just a second. Now the thing went down. Okay, nice. So now I have to finish, I need to restart the lesson. That won't be good. Yeah, I'll just, maybe I'll paste it. What do you do when you have technical problems? This is not nice. Let me think, what am I doing right now? Okay. I don't have a clue like what to do. I don't want to restart it because people on Facebook, on YouTube are like watching it. Okay. Maybe I should go to the channel. I know what I'll do. Okay, I'll just do just 2 seconds. I'll do a short post for people on Facebook that want to actually watch it. I'll just paste the link to the channel. Okay. Okay, just let me write. Okay, let's go post. Okay, where is this post? Sorry for the for the problem here. Okay. It's actually working on Facebook. Okay, now I see that. Okay, I hope that somebody writes in Facebook. Let me just write, in case there are problems with the broadcast, you can watch it now on YouTube. Okay, hopefully it will be okay. So far people are saying that it's okay. Okay, so let's go back after these technical problems. Let's go back to Okay. Sorry about that again, and we're restarting again. Okay. So, where were we? Yeah. So we were talking about it, that just like the Creator created from the will to bestow, the will to receive, that's how the creature will later on move from the will to receive to the will to bestow, and by this process attaining the wisdom that operates in the creation, meaning understanding the forces and how to control them and bringing them into one. Okay? So last time we stopped at page 56. We won't go through everything, but I'll jump forward to page 57, and here we have we're on the book. If you weren't with us on previous lessons, we're on the book Kabbalah for Beginners. You also have the link for the PDF in the description box in case you want to download it. So what we see here is again the desire to give, the Creator. We called it root zero, yeah, we call it phase zero or the root. It is the sensation of the Creator is called light. I'm going through some terminology here and basic concepts. And it is also called keter, which is in Hebrew a crown, like the thought of everything. And then you have phase one. In phase one, the will to receive was created. The will to receive, or the creature, is also called a kli, in Hebrew vessel. And the light that is being felt inside of the kli is called chokhmah, which is like wisdom. I'm not going to translate everything to Hebrew because, like Kabbalistic terms, it's better to learn. Just like in medicine, you learn the Latin terms, and I don't know, like in other, like for example, in mathematics, you have some Greek and stuff like that. So in Kabbalah, it's better to learn the Hebrew terms, but still, understanding that in phase one, the light that wants to realize itself as the will to bestow creates the vessel, the will to receive, with the pleasure inside of it. Then when the vessel, when the kli senses the upper light, besides the pleasure, it also feels that there is a giver, somebody that gives to it. And by feeling this, by coming to the understanding that there is a giver, it wants to attain a higher pleasure of being like the giver. So if we gave this example that if Bill Gates give me $1 million, after I enjoy the $1 million, I want to be like Bill Gates, okay? And this is called phase two, or binah, in which the kli wants to be like the Creator, just want to bestow, nothing for itself, only to give. By doing that, it realizes that its essence is about reception, and it's not a source of pleasure or a source of light like the Creator, and that it needs to receive in order to give. So it wants to keep giving, being like the Creator, but in order to do that, it needs to receive pleasure. This is called phase 3, Zeir and Pin, which in Aramaic, in this case, not really Hebrew, says small phase. Okay, later on we'll maybe elaborate why it's called like that. And by doing this action of comparing between giving and receiving, and after all the process that the creature goes through, and again, the process is much more detailed. Here we just do it like in a 30,000 feet above the ground, like resolution, so it's like very shallow. But in the summary of that process, the creature understands that its essence is about being like the Creator, not only attaining the pleasure, but attaining the status, the wisdom, the mind of the Creator. And this is called phase 4, and it's called Malchut, because Malchut is like kingship or kingdom, that now the creature wants to rule over reality just like the Creator does. And by that, the will to receive, the creature wants to be, here it says search for the thought of creation, but it wants to come back to adhesion with the Creator. And this is actually all of our essence. All of our life, all of creation is like one complete journey from the total, like you can say it's a quest for, just like the title, it's a quest for the thought of creation. So this is this goal actually compels the whole process, and you can say that it shapes everything that happens, even sensations of complete darkness and the revelation of the of states which are complete opposite to the Creator. Still, it's on the way to attaining the thought of creation, or becoming similar to that. Okay, and so we'll continue reading a bit from page 58. Here below, the last paragraph on 58. Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah. So just before we do that, let's see if we have questions. Although we have some technical problems. Simon is asking about the Kabbalah red string. I don't really want to go into that, but it's, let's say that things that are more external are more about psychological support. Just like habits or things that, just like small kids need things to hold to, like a teddy bear when you are afraid at night. But we want to talk about a more internal development of a person, like in qualities, in attainment, scientifically, and less about these or that instruments. Okay, so maybe we can explain later on where does it come from. Lana is asking what's the topic. The topic is about like the topic of discourse is about giving a general overview of Kabbalah, what it talks about, how creation came to be, and how it develops, and the basic concept that will allow those of you who want to go deeper into studying Kabbalah. So. And this is already the 7th lesson, and we've been covering the beginning of the process of the creation. So if this is your first meeting, so you can go back in the playlist on YouTube, or you can just go along with what we say here. It's not too complicated. Okay, so now we're on page 58 and the ending paragraph. There is a beautiful connection here. On the one hand, it seems as if we, creation, and the Creator are on opposite sides of the court, because we receive, that's our essence, to receive, what He gives. Okay, so is the force of bestowal, and we're the force of reception, and that's why we are completely opposite one to the other. But in fact, His greatest pleasure is to see us becoming like Him, and our greatest pleasure would be to become like Him. Okay, and this is interesting, because you have like the action of the Creator is bestowing, the action of the creature is receiving, but you have another level of intention, meaning the goal. And on this level of intention, we can come together, we can be as one with the Creator, or be similar to Him, we can say, because His goal is that we'll become like Him. That's in Hebrew Adam, meaning Adam, or like a human being. It comes from the word becoming resemble, or not becoming, but resembling the Creator, or becoming like Him. Okay, so this is our goal, to be similar to Him, and His goal, and this is also His goal. So on the we call it in Kabbalah intention. So on the intention level, we actually have the same intention. So although He's like plus, and we are minus, but you can say that in the direction, we are the same direction. We are both aimed for achieving adhesion with the Creator. Similarly, every child wants to become like its parents, and every parent naturally wants his or her child to achieve what the parent did not. Yes, this is in our world. It's really not so clear, because like egoistically, maybe it would be better for us to stay in the kindergarten and have all the sweets and all the games and everything, and our parents to take and to look after us. But for some reason, kids have this urge to grow up, to be like the adults. All the challenges that adults have in their life is completely concealed from the child, and he just see it as something big, or us, for example, wanting to become parents. Now, egoistically, there are not many things which are as worse as being a parent, that you need to give up from yourself, from your time, your energy, your money, your nerves, I don't know what, your happiness actually, to bring up other human beings. And again, this and any development from teeth growing to becoming a parent, or I don't know, opening a business, it actually usually comes with a certain pain, meaning something that is against the will to receive, against just receiving pleasure, and that's it. And that is because the will to receive is actually programmed to develop. It actually is programmed to develop, to attain the Creator, more than just receiving pure pleasure. Otherwise, we would be all doing drugs, just like, there is a very famous experiment with rats that they connected electricity to the brain, and if the rat pressed a certain button, then it will get a sensation of orgasm. And these rats just pressed that button until they died out of hunger. If we would be just like the rats, we would be just doing drugs, and that's it, or finding another way to just get pleasure until we die. But somehow it doesn't feel right for us. Somehow we feel that there is some kind of truth that we need to attain, or something more than life to just pleasures, or humanity tried this hedonistic kind of lifestyle, and it all the time came back during history, and then humanity just kicked it for some kind of ideals or truth, because we actually feel inside that we should develop to something. That's why also today, when, for example, a lot of people play games, because in a game you always need to learn, you always have a new challenge, you're developing from stage to stage. So we know that, for example, people are much more happy, experiencing a sense of flow, than just receiving certain items that give them immediate pleasure. And this sensation of flow happens actually when you experience a challenge together with a success. So it actually requires an effort which is against the will to receive, that just wants to be in complete, just wants to rest, or maximizing pleasure and minimizing pain. And so these are all results from the goal of creation, which is about attaining the Creator. Therefore, we and the Creator are actually pursuing the same goal. If we could comprehend this concept, our life would be very, very different. Instead of the confusion and disorientation so many of us experience today, we and the Creator could march together toward our designated goal since the dawn of creation. Because, again, this brings us to the question that we ended last lesson with, about the question of suffering. So if the Creator is good, why do we feel so much pain and so much suffering? So this comes from a very childish kind of view, that is focused on the sweets, on the candies, and not on the development. Because we don't understand it. If we, like a person that doesn't learn Kabbalah, he doesn't know what does it mean to attain the Creator, that there is some kind of goal to creation, that I need to attain that in my current life, and that's why he has no choice but to judge reality, as we've talked about last lesson. Kabbalists use many terms to describe the will to bestow: Creator, light, giver, thought of creation, phase zero, root phase, Keter, Binah, and many others, just like we talked before. Similarly, they use many terms to describe the will to receive. Creation, creature, kli, receives, phase 1, chokhmah and malchut are just a few. These terms refer to the subtleties, I hope I pronounced it correctly, in the two characteristics bestow and reception. If we remember that, we will not be confused by all. If we remember that, we will not be confused by all the names. Yeah. So again, name is some kind of observation, some kind of flavor that I attain in something specific. So the more flavors I have in that, the more attainment I have in that. Just like people who have a specific profession, so they can give, I don't know, a fisherman can give 1,000 names to the state of the sea, or to different fish, or to a different state of weather, and so on. To become like the creator, a giver, the kli does two things. First, it stops receiving altogether, an act called tzimtzum, restriction. It stops the light entirely and doesn't allow any of it into the kli. Similarly, it's easier to avoid eating something tasty but unhealthy than to eat just a little and leave the rest on the plate. Okay? So, like, the creature comes to a decision that it doesn't want to receive anything. It wants to be above pleasure, that the pleasure won't control it. So this act is called restriction or tzimtzum. We'll elaborate on that in the next lesson, but let's first hear about it. Therefore, making a tzimtzum is the first and easiest step to becoming like the Creator. The ability to make the tzimtzum is called acquiring a masach, screen. Figure 3 shows how the Creator's light approaches the kli but is rejected by the masach. We'll see it later on, okay? Just now, let's just go over it and hear it for, like, get our ears, how do you say, acquainted, or like familiar with the terms. The next thing that Malchut does is to set up a mechanism that examines the light, pleasure, and decides if it will receive it, and if so, how much. This mechanism is a development of the Masach screen. The condition by which the Masach determines how much to receive is called aim to bestow. In simple terms, the kli only takes in what it can receive with the intention to please the Creator. Or as Kabbalists put it, in order to bestow. The light received within the kli is called inner light, and the light that remains outside is called surrounding light. Okay, so here it goes into a lot of terminology. I don't want to go into that now. We'll reread from here next time. This is 59, but I just want to maybe draw it and then see if we have some questions. Okay, so what we've talked about is that there is phase 0, the root. The light wants to create the creature in order to realize its desire to bestow. Then it creates in phase 1 a kli, and this kli attains the light, but it senses in the light the sensation of the giver, so it wants to be like the giver. And then when it wants to be like the giver, this is called phase 2, and it understands that it doesn't have the energy or the light that it wants to bestow. It's not the source of light, and so in order to keep bestowing, it decides that it needs to receive some light from the Creator, and by going through all this process, it comes to a realization that it actually wants both the pleasure and both the attainment of the root. So it wants to be like the root. This is called phase 4. In this state, there is a huge you can say that there is a dissimilarity of form. Like there's a huge gap between phase 0 and phase 4, because the creature and the Creator in this state are completely opposite. This is like a huge delta between the creator, that it's complete, it's about complete bestowing, total bestow, and the creature here, which is about total reception, that wants to receive everything, be instead of the creator as the center of reality. And this huge gap pushes the creature to do what we just heard about, which is called a restriction, or a tzimtzum, that it doesn't want to receive anything. And by that, it wants to be as close to the creator as it can. Okay? So if I'm like I can only receive, that's the only action I can do, the ultimate or the best, no, the closest action I can do towards bestow, towards giving, is to not receive. Okay, so this is called the restriction, or tzimtzum. Tzimtzum. But we'll go over it again next time on Wednesday, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we'll review that. Now let's see if we have questions before we conclude this lesson. Stravan is asking, is Tony still teaching? Yes, it does. And you have Q&A with Tony. I think it's every now and then. You can subscribe actually in KBU. In the description box, if you see this join free online Kabbalah course, you have a link. If you subscribe for the link, you'll get the newsletter, so you'll know where you have Q&As with Tony. Hello to Geula and to Maria, and Lana is agreeing about the parents part, which is good. And hello to Roberto. Okay, we don't have more questions here. Okay, so we'll conclude with that. Again, the next lesson will be on Wednesday, I believe. And if you want to review the previous lessons, those of you who joined today, please go to the playlist on YouTube and just rewatch it. It's not too long. So thank you very much. Have a nice day, a nice evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now.